Very good afternoon to everybody and welcome to this national webinar on marketing and economy in post-COVID time organized by the Department of Commerce, Bihpuria College in collaboration with Assam College Librarians Association, and I am Dr. Utpal, the coordinator of ICT cell of Assam College Librarians Association and also the librarian of Dibugarh College. Again welcomes you all in this national webinar. And before starting this program, just I'd like to inform you that this program is also live on Facebook. So I'd like to also welcome all the Facebook viewers in this platform. And without wasting much time now, I'd like to invite Dr. Shibu, the assistant professor from Bihpuria College, to initiate the program. Sir, please unmute yourself. Yes, sir, please. Sir, just unmute yourself. I've given from here. Dr. Shibu Das, sir. Sir, unmute kuru log, sir. Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. We are glad to find such a huge gathering of participants and distinguished guests from across the country. I am Shibu Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Accountancy. I feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Department of Commerce, Bihpuria College. Today's national webinar is on the topic Marketing and Economy in Post-COVID Time. This webinar is co-hosted by Assam College Librarians Association, Assam. Today we have invited Dr. Chimun Kr Nath, Associate Professor and Head of the Commerce Department, Dibugarh University. Dr. Nath has 15 years of teaching experience. Today he will speak on paradigm shift of marketing. Welcome to the webinar, sir. We have another guest, Mr. Syamkanu Mahanta, the well-known entrepreneur, analyst, and social worker. He has organized Northeast Festival, Srimanta Sankardev Movement, Amulya, and many more. Today he will deliver his speech on Redefining Economy of Assam. Welcome to the sir. We have with us Dr. Hazarika, Honorable Principal of Bihpuria College, Mr. Utpal Deka, Associate Professor in the English Department, Bihpuria College, who has been assisting in organizing this webinar. Dr. Professsor Deka, General Secretary of ACLA Assam. He is working in Kesidas Commerce College. Welcome to the webinar. Now, I hand over the proceeding of the webinar to Virendra Pal, librarian in Dibugarh College. He is the coordinator of Information and Communication Technology Cell in ACLA. Welcome to the webinar. Virendra sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Shibu Das, sir, the assistant professor from Bihpuria College. And really, sir, it's a very wonderful and proud moment that this is the program that has been organized on a very important and pertinent topic. So, without wasting much time, now I'd like to invite the Honorable Principal, sir, of Bihpuria College, Dr. Amulya Hazarika, sir. And it's a really proud moment, sir, that this is the third time program we are conducting with the Bihpuria College. And because of your kind leadership, we are organizing this program. So, sir, I'd like to invite you for your welcome address, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Respected resource person, Dr. Chimun Kr Nath from Dibugarh University, Mr. Syamkanu Mahanta, renowned analyst and entrepreneur and social worker, Honorable President and Secretary of Assam College Librarians Association, Dr. Virendra Pal, coordinator of ICT cell of ACLA, our coordinator, Dr. Shibu Das, Mr. Utpal Deka, and my dear participants. This webinar has been organized on behalf of Commerce Department, Bihpuria College, in collaboration with Assam College Librarians Association. This is our third attempt in this line. The topic of discussion, that is marketing and economy in the post-COVID time, is most important not only because of pandemic, that is COVID-19, but it has relevance to our day-to-day life. During the lockdown period, whole the economic system has been adversely affected, and there has been a serious effect in the supply side economy, and resulting from that, there has been created a maladjustment in the demand side also. The service sector of the economy has also been affected significantly. We must have observed slowdown or decreasing trend in the process of economic growth of our country. It is a matter of fact for us to think about the recovery of our economy after the pandemic, or what will be happen in the pandemic if the pandemic will be longer. In view of the common people, abnormal prices, problem of storage, scarcity are some common problems in the general market during this period. So I think that today's discussion on this subject matter will give us some way to think of the problems as well as prospects towards the recovery of our economy and to stabilize our market for the well-being of our people. I am grateful to our resource persons and honorable participants for being with us to make this program a success. It is my pleasure to declare that today's webinar on marketing and economy in the post-COVID time has been inaugurated. So I welcome you all and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amulya Kumar Hazarika, sir, the Honorable Principal, sir, of Bihpuria College, for giving your valuable time and also organizing this program under your leadership, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And now I'd like to invite the Honorable General Secretary of Assam College Librarians Association, Dr. Deka, sir, to provide his speech, sir. Deka, sir, please. Deka, sir, please unmute yourself. Dr. Deka, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, please. Please, sir. Continue, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually I am using mobile today. That is the problem. It's okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Bedar. Namaskar. Honorable Principal Bihpuria College, Dr. Amulya Kumar Hazarika, sir. Resource person, Syamkanu Mahanta, sir. Coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Shibu, Dr. Utpal, ICT Convenor of CLA, respected faculties and students, dignitaries and participants all over India and Assam. On behalf of CLA, I welcome all of you this national webinar. I feel great honor to be the part of this amazing national webinar with an interesting topic of marketing and economy in post-COVID time. And our resource person definitely will be giving us some new idea about the topic. This is our, I think, 85 number webinar really amongst the 85 number. It is different kind of topics. First time we are will be listening this topic. Anyway, as a General Secretary of SCLA, I would like to take this privilege to speak few lines about our association. SCLA is a state level organization which is registered in IFECTO, under IFECTO and established in 1973. As all of you aware that SCLA has been organized a series of webinars as its voluntary contribution throughout the state of Assam on awareness of emergency. our Ministry of Government of India. So far, we have covered more than 185 colleges and 3 universities till date, covering more than 22,000 academicians, including students, research scholars, and our research. And we are also providing support of our technical support to our college and institution for organizing different webinar and training program at a free of cost. And this webinar also a part of this series. Within short time, our SLA will be associated with the director of BUSA. Assam government has already given us some responsibility to make tutorial videos, teaching learning process for our teachers, school teachers. Anyway, coming to this topic, the world is slowly limping back to the world for after lockdown. Now unlock is continuing, and there is some slowdown in infection of death rates in many developing countries. But the coronavirus not done, not in the world yet. Lots of people already die. The economy and social impact is unprecedented, and this is one of the worst global economic decline. Ever since record have been kept, most of the countries are going to witness negative growth ranging from 5 to 15%. But there is enough realism and system with the new technology and global connectivity in financial market. And India needs to have clear policy to survive and growth in post and COVID-19 world. India should give more focus on, I think, diversification of global manufacturing stores, public health at the center of the development, climate-friendly economy, focus on agriculture. India has great opportunity to promote sustainable agriculture, youth employment. This is one of the areas which India needs to be a long way. Finally, COVID-19 is a global disaster for which world has totally unprepared. But the global and India must draw some major lessons out of this unpleasant experience to turn into the positive one. And I am thinking much. Sorry, I am taking much time. Let me finish here. And thank you, Principal Sir. Thank you, Bihpuria College, for giving me to speak few lines. And I have noticed that you people already, our Dr. Bindopal already informed that you people doing lots of activities. Really, it's a good sign for higher education of Assam. As a General Secretary of Assam, I promise in future also, SLA will be with you in your academic activities. Thank you and namaskar. Over to Dr. Bindopal.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Deka, sir, for your wonderful speech. And because under your dynamic leadership, Assam College Librarians Association can perform this kind of activities. So thank you very much. And being a member of Assam College Librarians Association, I am very much thankful and proud to you. So thank you very much, sir. And now we are going to start our program. Now I'd like to invite the first resource person, the Honorable resource person, Dr. Chimun Kr Nath, sir, the Associate Professor from the Department of Commerce, Dibugarh University, to take the technical session, sir. Sir, please.
Sentence of the year. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, sir.
Good afternoon to one and all. It's really a privilege to be a part of this wonderful journey of a webinar with Bihpuria College as well as the association. Now, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the person who has initiated this particular journey, Dr. Utpal Deka, sir, and my beloved Dr. Shibu. Then we have Dr. PK Deka, the GS of SCLA Assam, the host, the person who is behind the scene and doing the anchoring, Dr. Virendra Pal of ICT cell of SCLA, and my esteemed other resource person of today's webinar, Syamkanu Mahanta, and along with that, the curator of this entire webinar, the principal of the college, Bihpuria College, Dr. Amulya Hazarika. It's really a wonderful, experience working with you. And today I'm in front of you to present talk basically on the paradigm shift of marketing during and after the pandemic. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, the participants, please allow me a few minutes for sharing my slides with you. I just want to go with a share screening, and at that point of time, I would also like to request, in order to have a proper bandwidth management, can you please put off or mute your videos also? Thank you. May I request the host, is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So here's the topic, that is a paradigm shift of marketing during and after the pandemic. So in this particular discussion, I will be categorizing the discussion into two different parts. One is that during this pandemic period, what kind of marketing process is on across the globe, and what would be the future of marketing after this particular pandemic situation. So let us just go with an understanding that we, all the people, are basically a product of a market-driven economy. We are right now working in, till the beginning of this pandemic situation, we were actually working in a market-driven economy. We were concentrating more on the digitalization because people were more into the social medias, and we have used the ICT to the fullest extent for our marketing part. Then we also have seen that, or rather, we are witnessing that we have some consumption. The dimension of consumption is changing, because if I talk about going back to early 80s or the 90s, at that point of time, our main approach was more about the savings. But after 90s, perhaps during this starting of the millennium until now, very recently, our main focus is basically more on the expenses, because we have lot many options in front of us. And since we have so many different options, so accordingly our consumption pattern has also got changed. But the thing is that when we have this kind of pandemic situation, perhaps even on the 31st December of 2019, at that point of time also, when we were welcoming 2020, we never actually ever thought of that we will be inviting a kind of a year which is so disastrous for us. It's a very worst situations that under which we are right now going across. We have a very critical scenario in front of us. We have seen a lot many phase-wise changes, because in January probably we have just heard about, yes, there is a kind of a disease, maybe what commonly people call it as a COVID-19. But what is it and what is all about? We were least bothered about that. I'm talking about especially in Indian situation. But once the month is over, and once we entered into February, all of a sudden it creates a kind of a havoc amongst us. And by March, obviously, the government has no other options but to go for declaring a lockdown, a complete lockdown. Now, once the lockdown is declared, means what we have done is that we are just now confined to our four walls of the house. And why we are confined to four walls of the house? Because COVID-19 is a kind of a disease which till now even we do not have a specific drug, although a lot of experiments are on, but till now we do not have the drugs. And the most important part is that we have no other option but to maintain only precautions. And for that, sanitization becomes a very, very important phenomena in our life. And once we are inside the home, since we are not, we are not in a position to go to the office or to do any other activities outside the home. So ultimately, we were being forced to become online techie. All the time, we have to work with the internet. We have to work into online situations, and especially if I'm talking about the faculty like us, I mean, many of the faculties may be out here in this particular webinar. For us, we need to have some kind of adjustments, because we were always quite fond of taking offline classes, and all of a sudden we were forced to enter into a virtual classroom. So we have to learn with due respect, but that many of us actually we need to learn about uh, how to be accustomed with this kind of an online classes. And then at the same time, many of us as a consumer, if I'm talking about, we are using more of a games and movies on mobiles. A study reveals that just after the lockdown, in fact, the study actually starts about from 1st of March 2020 to the 30th of June 2020, the per hour of using a game by a person in India has increased by about 2.1 times. Now that is very, very interesting for those who are doing the marketing of the games. And at the same time, the movies were also being, I mean, they got popularized, and now many of us actually have seen all those movies which we have loved once. We were very fond of those movies, and when we got a chance, then again we want to go back and to see this kind of movies, even the serials also. But ultimately, what has happened that all these things, when we are want to enjoy, at that point of time we require larger GB nets. That is another requirements that has emerged out of this particular pandemic situation. We need more and more mobile data, the internet data. So that's why there is a paradigm shift from earlier situation to this present situation in terms of the networking activities. The present situation also has shown us another change, that is basically many people wants to come back to their homes. Those who are working in other states, working in other country, everyone were actually interested to come back to home. And that is quite natural also, and it's a very common human psychological understanding that whenever we are facing any sort of problem, the first person or the first thing what actually comes to our mind is basically our home, our relatives. We always believe that they are the person whom to be trusted of, and during this particular situation when we are having an adverse situation, at that point of time we always want to be with our family members. So that's why many of the people have come back, and along with that, of course, the migration part, the migrated labor cases, which is very much, I mean, very much there in the news, and you are quite aware about it. So I'll not want to, discuss on those particular points, but this is what actually a kind of a change that we have seen during this particular pandemic situation. Now, in this pandemic situation, what is important to be focused from a market perspective is that the people are now focusing more on essentials. We are just concerned about like our groceries, all those essential products, as well as those safety things like the sanitizer, soaps, all these points and masks like that. All these things which are very much essential for us to survive in this or to come back in this particular pandemic situation. We were focusing on to that. We are not actually talking about any kind of luxurious products. In fact, the statistics says that in the month of April 2020, uh, the this is I'm talking about the Toyota. they have not sold a single unit in the entire month across the country. Because nobody were interested now at that point of time of buying a car. Rather, their focus is more onto the essentials. And ultimately, what has happened because of all this kind of changes, a big question comes to our mind, or a big question is in front of us. That was basically the health versus economy. Now, what to do? The government is also confused, like which way we should, in which direction we should proceed. If we have to think about the economy, then we will be compromising with the health, and if we look more onto the health, then in that case we will be compromising with the economy. So there was a big debate on this particular two issues. And as a marketer, perhaps we have to look into that particular aspect too. Now, in this particular during this particular pandemic situation, many of the companies have suffered a huge loss. As I have given you an example of Toyota. Similarly, there are so many companies where they observe that their products are not at all sellable at that point of time, because the situation itself is not that conducive enough to push that particular product out in the market. So what next they have to do? Some of the companies, what they have done is that they were trying to give different advertisements and trying to retain their customers. I mean, the biggest question now for them is to retain the customers. It's not about creating a new customer, because the situation is not at all conducive, but then whosoever is their own customers, they want to just retain to that. On to that, I just want to share with you one particular video. Please have a look. May I request the host, please tell me that whether it is audible and visible also. Was it audible and visible to everyone?
Yes, sir, it was visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So that was a advertisement made by Coca-Cola. Now, in this particular pandemic period, it is obvious that it has been quite often been repeatedly informed to the people that you shouldn't go with any sort of cold drinks. So So they also understand that they cannot push the particular product, and they could not sell a single unit even in certain markets. But what they have done is that they were showing that what sort of services they have offered to the society during this particular pandemic period. By doing that, actually, they try to establish in the mindset of the people, the common people, and especially their own customers, that yes, we are still with you, we do care for you, so that's why I care for you. That is what actually they have shown in that particular advertisement. Now, this is an attempt, although they have actually incurred a huge loss, and they also understand that they have to be ready, or they have to be prepared. That is, in the coming few months also, they will not be able to again regain back. But still, they were focusing this kind of advertisements. They are placing these advertisements in the air, so that at least they can retain their customers. Now, another situation, what has happened during this particular pandemic part is that many of the companies who has forgone their original mode of functioning, or their products which they are actually selling it off. Rather, they want to switch over because the market has changed, the market pattern has changed. So accordingly, they are switching over from their original product to the product which are looking for. On to that, I just want to share with you one particular advertisement which will definitely, I mean, once you go through, and then you definitely will be able to understand that what sort of changes that has taken place. Here it goes. Was an advertisement of Wildcraft. Now, Wildcraft is famous for preparation of the backpacks. Now, they are always a leading company in preparing their backpacks. But at this particular pandemic, when people are forced to to remain inside a home, where this backpack will be used. I mean, where the demand will be created. So that's why what they have done is that they have switched over from manufacturing of bags to that of a mask, because now the need of the hour is mass. And that's why if you look into, if you have gone through the last punching line, that hum, tayar hai hum, means yes, we are ready to face the new situation. Now, the future. Now, what will be the next part? Yes, the future is quite uncertain for us, and in this particular pandemic period also, it is something that so many people were making different speculations that the particular disease will not be there when it is summer or something like that. But now perhaps the entire projections goes wrong, because the situation is worsened like anything, and it is quite worsening. So we do not know exactly that when this particular pandemic will be over. But whatever the situation it may be, whenever this particular pandemic will be over, one thing is for sure, that we will be entering into a very critical zone. Whether it is of marketeers or that of any other professionals, definitely will be entering into a very critical zone. And the economists, especially, they were also in a dilemma, exactly like what next, what kind of situations that we can have it. one thing is for sure that we will be facing some recession effect. Now that recessionary effect, how long we will going to have its impact, that is also something people are now have started thinking about, but nobody is quite sure that what kind of effect it will be and how long it will remain in the market or in the overall economy. Now, in between, if I just draw something from the political arena, many of the political analysts believe that the next two elections are crucial. One is the Lok Sabha elections of India, and before that, the presidential election of US. Because the wind and the movement is as such that now people are thinking, or rather, both the governments are basically working on a situation that we are about to boycott Chinese products without mentioning the name of the party or without mentioning any particular person's name. If I just consider that this ruling party again got a chance, again got a second chance to come to the power, then there will be a huge kind of it is projected like there will be a huge kind of change that will occur, especially in terms of Chinese products. And when it such kind of situation occurs, yes, boycotting a Chinese product is not a big deal. But what is the more important part for us is that how we will going to boycott some kind of products where the Chinese technology is associated with. Because you see that so many companies, so many multinationals, they have used the Chinese technology in their particular products because first of all, the technology itself is quite cheap out there. The human capital is also comparatively cheaper out there. So because of that only, they were using that particular technology. Now, if I just simply say that you have suppose one particular handset, maybe a Samsung or maybe any sort of, and just remove that particular Chinese technology from it, then who will take up the next one? Because obviously the question will be that now who next can do this? In that situation, obviously, the government of India also thinks, and even we also can think about that, yes, India could be the second destination, the next destination for those companies. Only the point is that we have to develop or we have to gear up with such kind of technologies which the Chinese are offering. Now, are we equipped for that? Can we actually be able to cope up with that kind of a technology which the Chinese are offering and that at that particular cheaper rate? If we yes, then yes, we can have a new set of business paradigm. But if we don't have, in that case, the situation will be much more critical. Then what has happened, you see, is that because of this particular pandemic, we can see, especially if I'm talking about an Indian consumer, we are all before the pandemic. Yes, we were a kind of a consumer which are basically in a transition period, because what has happened that many of us, although we go for some kind of online purchases, but we do not have much of a trust on it. It may be because of some wrong size products, maybe the colors were not matching, maybe the appearance is not as it is what is being shown in the screen, something like that. So there are so many reasons, but then people have one or the other reasons for which many people were not actually having such kind of a trust with the online purchase. So what they believe is that they usually want to go to the market, have a physical taste of the product, and then only they buy the particular product. Now, if I talk about in percentage, it's no doubt diminishing by today. But then what it was in maybe around starting of this millennium. But still, a huge chunk is there who believes on that part. Now, for them, actually, what will happen that because of this particular pandemic situation, somehow or the other, it is imbibed in our psychology, imbibed in our brain that we should maintain distances, social distancing is very, very important for us. We are actually not allowing our product to be touched by everyone, because from that also the virus can be transmitted. And at the same time, if someone is, suppose if it is an apparel case, if the product is an apparel, in that case, we will not be encouraging anyone to have a trial of those clothes in the trial room, because if somebody looks into it, maybe the other people may not be interested to even to touch that particular cloth. So under that situations, the technology has to come forward. And I just want to share with you one particular video where you will see such kind of technologies. It's a very long video, so I'll be showing only a part of it. Where it goes, just have a look, and then after that, I'll again continue with the next part.
Like a pose in your dressing room mirror, your next trip to the mall could really blow your mind. First on CBS This Morning, Ben Tracy reveals the technology behind a high-tech mirror that could transform your shopping experience.
And look into your own eyes to start recording.
This is not your mama's mirror.
So you can do a 360.
It's actually a giant video screen and camera. The shopper we asked to try it out got to see her outfit from 360 degrees and compare clothing options side by side. It also remembers what you've already tried on. That's why it's called the memory mirror.
So you tried out the memory mirror. What'd you think?
I think I need one of those in my room. That's what I think. I love the memory
dressed every morning with that?
Yes.
Technology has changed everything in terms of the shopping experience.
Karen Katz is president and CEO of Neiman Marcus. 80% of its customers are women, which is why the company is embracing the future by testing these very modern mirrors in their San Francisco stores.
Somebody could come in and have to try on 5 outfits. They get to the 5th outfit and they say, I forget what the first outfit looked like. Is that kind of your short-circuiting that process?
Yeah, exactly. To save the customer that time of having to retry on outfits, and equally important is that ability to share the outfits with friends and family. I think that social part of it is as important as the editing part of it.
Start your personal try-on.
The mirror records an 8-second video. It's password protected and can be emailed, allowing you to instantly share and solve any shopping situation with the help of your friends and family.
So basically, you can still go shopping with your friends, even if your friends don't have time to go shopping.
Exactly. And for those really important decisions in women's lives, buying a mother of the bride dress or an outfit for a special event, she can have her entire, bevy of girlfriends right around her, even if they're not there physically.
The mirror was created in Neiman's top.
The mirror was created. That the later part of the video actually describes about that, but we are not concerned about that particular part right now, because what is important for us to understand that if we have such kind of mirrors in place in our showroom, and the customer goes into it and then just have a 360-degree rotation in front of that particular glass, then immediately the whatever being fitted to them, whatever the dresses that will be fitted to that particular customer, that will be highlighted in the screen, and along with that, on the side where the clothes are being displayed, the lights will be on for focusing specifically that particular dress, and by looking at that on that only, the customer can easily pick up the thing. And at the same time, it is not necessary that you have to buy at that point of time only. That can be downloaded in your mobile, and then once you come back, you discuss with your friends and family members, and then finally you choose and then place an order. Now, at least when you are placing now this particular order, you are sure that the size and everything will be perfect. So that's why what has happened, you see that this particular type of consumption behavior will be there after this kind of a pandemic situation. Why? The reason is that since people are now becoming much more accustomed or much more friendly with the online systems and the technology part, and perhaps many of you may think about that, this may be there in the developed economy. How can it be made available in a country like India, where we are just on a developing process? But let me tell you that when the computer was introduced, at that point of time, India was nowhere. But around 1990, when we have actually decided to introduce the computers in our office and our work, huge races were there, and by 95 only we could somehow been able to make a full-fledged use of the computer. But after that, if you look into whenever a new changes that has taken place, whether it is a Android technology or any other such kind of technologies, you'll find that even the uses of or the product is also available in the market, as well as the users are also available in the market. So that's why now the thing is that you simply cannot think of that whether this particular technology will take, it will take a longer period of time to come to India or not. You need not have to think in that way, because I'm sure like it will be introduced very soon once we have such kind of situation emerges where the pandemic is over and we are about to start up our normal life. The future also talks about there will be a changing behavior in our savings part, because prior to the pandemic, we were basically more focusing on investing in different securities, and we were ready to take certain risks. But then once we have this particular pandemic at the initial stage, maybe we were also thinking of that, okay, since the price of the share market is going down, so let me buy some shares. But now when that has been extended, that has been prolonged, perhaps now people have started thinking that no, somehow or the other, I have to keep the savings. So means what has happened that now when people are struggling to earn, when people are back to the basic walls, so at that point of time, their prime thing is basically to go with the basics, means only with the savings part, rather than going for those kind of investments. So so the thing is that even once the pandemic will be over, still that particular psychology will be there for it will be there for a certain period of time among the common consumers of India. So the savings behavior is also something will be changed. And there will be a change in the motives also. The motives, how it is, let me just show you one small video in front of you.
We started with a simple leafleting campaign, so we could identify the people who love dogs. And with paper-thin RFID chips embedded in the leaflets, we made them discoverable. Hidden sensors alerted the digital screens when someone with a leaflet approached, triggering our dog to appear. Whichever direction they approached, a different video was triggered. Just like a real stray, our dog appeared wherever they went, trying to attract their attention. Then he followed them from one poster to another, all around the area. Once he'd made his presence felt, he told people what he wanted them to do. With multiple screens all over the area, our dog followed people no matter which route they took. Over a 2-week period, we directed thousands of people to the Battersea website and the Twitter feed where lots of lonely dogs were featured, bringing new leads to Britain's oldest dogs home.
Okay, so this is how actually the motives, the things got changed, and probably after the pandemic, it will become a kind of a very common situation for us. Now, the thing is that obviously you will be wondering that all these whatever I have right now discussed is more about basically belongs to those bigger companies. But how about those small vendors? How they will be surviving? You see, this is something we have to acclimatize. Even those who are basically the street vendors, they have also started realizing the fact. In fact, if you look into during this particular pandemic situation and a lockdown situation, or even suppose under one situation, you will find that they try to somehow manage your phone numbers, and then they used to call us, Sir, Mas Samanny. I mean, would you like to have fish? Would you like to have vegetables? So if you say yes or no, in that case, based on that, they will be supplying those products to you. So under the situation, if I just look at it may be appearing for us in a very raw form, but otherwise it is all about like an use of the apps. I mean, the way we used to place an order in our Domino's or any other cases, the same situation actually has already started, and knowingly or unknowingly, all these vendors have also started doing such kind of online interactions through which they try to come closer to the consumers. So the future is definitely an era of digital economy. You will find an era of online classrooms. Since I'm a faculty, sorry, actually all the time I just it is there in my mind. It's there in my hindsight also to always come back with the classroom part. And it is an era of basically a content marketing. Means content marketing is what that whenever we have to introduce a new technology, we need to make the people more and more aware about it. We have to keep the people aware, and somehow if the people are not or have failed to understand it, in that case we need to provide some more literature, some more information to them, so that the people has to understand about it. So the future marketing will be much more onto that particular content marketing part. And of course in between there are certain accidental progresses also there. Through that also the marketing it keeps on rolling. I just want to share with you is one of a very interesting video, which is basically prepared maybe around August 2019, and now it is becoming very, very popular advertisement across the country. Let us just have this one.
अरे पहले हाथ तो धो लो।
शेर भी कभी अपने पंजे धोते हैं दीदी?
पंजे तो चूहे भी नहीं धोते मामा जी। शेरों के पंजे भी अब से धुलेंगे, यूं रोकेंगे टोकेंगे हो। खाने से पहले सदा हाथ धोना कभी भी ना भूलेंगे हो। जो हमने सिखाया वो सबको सिखाएंगे, एवरीबॉडी हाथ धो। ना फैले बीमारी जो आदत हमारी, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
अरे अब कौन जाएगा इतनी दूर?
हॉस्पिटल तो और भी दूर है अंकल, वहाँ ना जाना पड़ जाए। कोई बहाने नहीं अब चलेंगे, ये भी नहीं होंगे हो। इन्फेक्शन मिटाना है, सबको बताना है, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो। खाने से पहले सदा हाथ धोना कभी भी ना भूलेंगे हो।
अच्छा बताओ, अब यहाँ कैसे होगा तुम्हारा डेटॉल डेटॉल हो?
घर हो या बाहर हो, पानी हो या ना हो, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो। अरे कौन सा कीचड़ लगा? साफ ही तो है। लापरवाही नहीं, नहीं नहीं नहीं, सही से हाथों को धो। ना फैले बीमारी जो आदत हमारी, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
साबुन से सच्चा है, साबुन से अच्छा है,
डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
डेटॉल लिक्विड हैंड वॉशर सैनिटाइजर दे 100 बीमारी फैलाने वाले जर्म से सुरक्षा।
तभी तो मामा ने सिर्फ डेटॉल का धुला।
So that was the advertisement of Dettol, and why actually I say that this is an accidental part, because at that point of time when it was aired in around August 2019, there was nowhere actually there was a question of such kind of sanitizers or something to be there. But at that point of time only they have prepared this advertisement, and finally when we have this kind of pandemic situation, perhaps this particular advertisement becomes a very important and a very attractive advertisement for every one of us. So now the thing is that, especially to combat with this particular type of situations, this type of marketing, perhaps in our commerce, I'm just trying to showcase about a commerce discipline. We what we do is basically what people have not taught usually in the Harvard school. We somehow develop among our students the reasoning skills, and yes, to be into this particular market, to be as a marketeer, obviously we need this kind of reasoning skills. We also teach outer knowledge collections, because in commerce we need to have not many outer knowledge. And then we have somehow or the other, means the commerce students were being made in such a way, they have been upgraded in such a way that they should have the courage to accept the new challenges. They always keep themselves up to date. They do not have any other options. They have to keep themselves up to date. And if we look into their personalities, somewhere or the other, you will find that within them, a little amount of spark is always there. So, in fact, that's why actually I used to call that commerce rocks. So the thing is that yes, we the people, the commerce students, they are actually quite ready to face this kind of changes, and they can easily handle this kind of new marketing situations. But only the thing is that they need certain guidance, which I believe it becomes a responsibility for us, the people like us, the faculties, to guide them properly. Now, if I talk about that, the content marketing, you might have seen that in these content marketing channels have two different type of ways. One is a paid placement, means like we give advertisement, we give sponsorship, because the things are new. As I said, that the technology will have a very close connections or close relation with marketing. So that's why we need to give advertisement. We need to have some social media connections and some own media. Maybe we can have our own media through which we will try to popularize that particular technology to the mass. And the future is also talks about the marketing of the mobile apps, because as I have given you one example about that particular fisherman, the person who's selling the fish, or that of the vegetable sellers. What they do is that they used to call us, and then they try to make a home delivery of the products of that particular products to us. Now the thing you see is that today we are having such kind of flexibility that our people, even if they are maybe they are having a different kind of a profession or different kind of an expertise otherwise before the pandemic. But now, because the market has changes, so automatically they also switches over, and then they are ready for it. I mean, obviously some examples may be in front of you, like you may find that your plumber is now started selling vegetables. So something like that, you will find not many changes has taken place. So what does it mean that our human resources are ready for such kind of flexibilities? Only the thing is that we need to provide them a good support. Now the mobile apps are basically one of a good support for them. Especially if I'm talking about even in Dibugarh town, we are having a lot many indigenous mobile apps which are actually helping the restaurants to connect with their customers. So something like that, if some people prepare such kind of apps, and then they are trying to connect the vegetable sellers to the customers, in that case also it will be a kind of a win-win situations for both the parties. So that's why what has happened, you see, is that the future marketing, it will be focusing on that particular aspect. Hardly you will going to find in the market, even though the person was talking to you in a very nice otherwise in a very proper tone about the price of the product and everything, and once you just passed on, immediately with a very you can say metallic voice, they started saying, hey, dastaka, something like that. Now what does it mean? When the thing is that they were doing all this kind of advertisements, these are all the promotional following. But what has happened, that particular tactics were were effective at that point of time when there was a kind of a offline situation, and when there is a kind of a situation where we do not have this kind of pandemic part. But what has happened, you see, the pandemic is one side, and the creation of the fear amongst us is another side, because that particular fear circumstances will last for a long period of time. And because of that only, what has happened, that such kind of situation you will not going to get it. Of course, when there was a lockdown announcement, and before that, you will find a lot of rushes are there into those vegetable markets. But then those are only 1 or 2 days time. It's a very short-term phenomena. But the longer, the middle and the longer duration is more important for us actually to understand. So that's why in-app displays of advertisements and the mobile shopping apps, all these will become a kind of what you can say. What we can say here is that kind of a buzz marketing concept after the pandemic situations. So as a parting note, what I believe that yes, it is uncertain that when it will be over. We are quite depressed that whether we will be again going to get our particular art, which we have enjoyed for a long period of time, the life which we have enjoyed for a long period of time, we will going to get back that particular art or the life back or not. But the thing is that, as we always say, that for every night there is a morning, there is a sunshine. So I do also believe that yes, or someday or the other, this particular situation will be over, and then we will going to have a new paradigm of marketing in front of us. What the common word says, Fir Muskarayega, India. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is Dr. Chimun Kr Nath, back to sign off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chimun Nath, sir, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dibugarh University, sir. So really, it was a very wonderful presentation, sir. And really, I'm very much proud, and I'm a member of this program today. So I feel myself as a proud that I got the opportunity to hear you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to invite the second resource person, which is a well-known figure from the state of Assam. I'd like to invite Syamkanu Mahanta, sir, well-known entrepreneur analyst, for the second technical session, sir. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Hazarika, sir, Principal, sir, for inviting me, Utpal, Deka, and the entire team, organizing team. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. And I feel it is a privilege to see so many people and participating in this seminar. And the first presentation was fantastic. I appreciate Mr. Nath. Very well done. And I cannot see the entire presentation, but whatever part I have seen, I am pretty impressed with what you have done. Okay, now talk about, I will try to talk about economy, entrepreneurship, job creation. Just few lines about myself. My name is Syamkanu Mahanta. I'm an engineer and management graduate. I'm from Sibsagar. Born in Sibsagar, I studied in Sibsagar Government School, Cotton College. Then I did my engineering. Then I did my management. I worked in NEDFI, Northeastern Development Finance Corporation. At a young age, I became a head of project finance, actually. I did finance many projects, a hospital project, tourism project, industrial project, steel, cement. And I was molded by Dr. Jayanta Mathur, one of the finest economists of the entire country. And Mr. J.P. Saikia, they molded me. At that period of time, I went to Delhi and I was involved in structuring the Northeast Industrial Policy. And I was involved in doing NEDFI Hard and many other initiatives in NEDFI. Then I joined ILFS, Infrastructure, Leasing and Financial Services, and I grew in the organization up to level of vice president. I was in Delhi, I was in Uttaranchal, I was in Washington for some time, I was in Bhutan. So over the years, I did projects. Some of the projects like India's most successful power plant, ONGC Tripura Power Project, which is a 726 megawatt power project at Pallatana in the Udaipur district, was conceptualized, and I was the project manager. I drove the project from the concept to the commission. I did a lot of small hydropower projects like Champamoti Hydropower Project in Kokrajhar, Chirang. Then I did a lot of tourism projects like Taj Vivanta Hotel in Guwahati, Ginger Hotel in Guwahati, Agartala, and many other places. In Uttaranchal, I did a lot of ropeway projects. So tourism, hydropower is my strength, and I also worked in the sector of roads. I was involved in Delhi Noida road project. So I left my job in 2011, and I wanted to come back to Assam and do something for my society, for my people. So initially there was a lot of reluctance, and especially my family was not keen because I was in a very senior level in ILFS, getting a very large salary, one of the highest paid. So family was reluctant, but I wanted to do something on my own and come back to my place. So I came back to Guwahati and started a company called MMS Advisory. It's a project management company, and whatever I have learned in working in across the world, I started doing it. Near Bihpuria, that Matmara Geodike, I was involved in conceptualizing and project management of Matmara Geodike. I did a lot of road projects, Bamboo Technology Park, Mega Food Park, Dibugarh University. So we are doing lots of projects across Northeast, and I have around 300 engineers, all mostly Assamese and Northeastern people, working with me. And this is the largest project management company of entire Northeast India. And then you must be knowing me for the other initiative of us. I was working in Delhi, and there was a lot of racial initiative happening. Racial attack was happening against Northeastern people. There we started. I started a trust called TRAN MMS, a not-for-profit trust, and we initiated this famous Northeast Festival Delhi. It was in 2013. The idea is to create awareness about Northeast. Myself, we joined hand with Mr. MC Marycom, the boxer, Adil Hussain, the actor, and my friend Dibugarh. So we all joined hand. We started a culture initiative. So I drove the initiative, Northeast Festival. Initially, we showcased our culture, our music, our food, and some fashion. But over the years, Northeast Festival has become Northeast India's most famous product outside. If you type in internet Northeast Festival comes out. It's organized in Indira Gandhi Center for Arts in Delhi. There we started showcasing Northeast as a destination of tourism. So we highlighted the various tourism destinations. We called the tour operators across India, and we brought the tour operator of Assam, Meghalaya, tourism departments of various Northeastern states, and we do a lot of business-to-business interaction. We have showcased Northeast music, culture, cuisines. Northeast cuisine became very popular. And in Delhi, you see Nagaland kitchen and all these famous Naga kitchens, Mizo kitchen products, all started from Northeast Festival. Zubingarh, Papon, and Tetsu Sister, all the famous musicians made Northeast Festival one of the biggest musical festivals of India. And we got a lot of crowd, a lot of foreign tourists. And we did a lot of business-to-business interaction on textile. I realized the value of Assam economy. I saw the maximum focus on Assam on handloom and handicraft products. Around 100 Assamese young boys and girls, mostly women entrepreneurs, showcased the handloom and handicraft product of Assam in Northeast Festival Delhi. We organized some buyers, and these are textile buyers or exclusive boutiques. They were stunned by the quality of varieties of handloom handicraft in display. So there are a lot of business interaction was generated, tourism interaction. The strength I found out of textile and tourism, the handloom and handicraft and tourism, and agri-horti product are the three strengths on which I started working on. So Northeast Festival Delhi was organized for seven years continuously. And earlier in Delhi, the main focus was about flood, alpha, or NRC, or whatever. But Northeast Festival brought Assam's cuisine, Assam's fabric, Northeastern cuisine, tourism destination in the first phase of Times of India, Hindu and other people. So it has got a big hope for the people of Northeast. Then we went to Mumbai. It's called Colors of Northeast. It was organized in Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai. Ratan Tata has helped me to organize this. Then we went to Bangkok, that Northeast India Festival. A lot of you must have heard about it. We wanted to showcase Northeast, and we talk about Act East policy, but nothing has been done to really connect Southeast Asia to Northeast. In 2019 February, we went to Bangkok in a place called Central World. Around 700 people went from here with me. They're comprising the Thai scholars, comprising handloom and handicraft entrepreneurs, textile entrepreneurs, and agri-horti entrepreneurs, and tourism tour operators. Zubingarh and all this, our cultural fashion icons went. So we organized Northeast India Festival, and a lot of Thai scholars came from Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. They realized the strength of Assam, the Thai culture, how it can connect Southeast Asia. So Northeast India Festival becomes India's biggest initiative in Southeast Asia, and Prime Minister of India last year has declared that this is an initiative of India, will be organized every year. This year we are supposed to organize in February, but because of Corona we deferred. But we developed a connect with entire Southeast Asia, from Thailand up to Singapore. So apart from this, these are the initiatives I have done in Assam. We do something called Rongali. A lot of you must have heard the famous Rongali product of Assam, where we showcase the Assam's ethnicity, the Missings, the Karbis, and Tiwas, and Dimasas. And we showcase the way of life of Assam, tourism destination of Assam. And we try to bring tourists all over the world. So these are the basic, these are two initiatives. One is project management, which I do, and the other part is about my cultural, social, and tourism business initiatives that we have been doing. So I decided to come back and stay in Assam and started talking about creating a culture of entrepreneurship, culture of tourism, culture of industry and investment. We worked in different industrial sectors. I went to different big enterprises, and Britannia and many other investment came to Assam, where I worked to help them to facilitate industries. So with that background, I started talking in televisions about a need for an alternative approach in Assam, an approach of entrepreneurship, approach of positivity, an approach of work culture. I started writing in Amara Home, Neomia Berta, going in TV, and then now I have a program called Jugatmok Dr Chimun Kr Nath. A lot of you must have seen it. It's in Prague News every Sunday. There I talk about our issues, starting from Dihing Patkai to our Ahom Thai Ahom culture. About flood, next Sunday we are talking about how to look for a permanent solution to flood. So now let me talk about this brief background about myself. Will give an idea about what I do, and most importantly, what I'm going to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, post-COVID. Post-COVID Assam. My focus will be post-COVID Assam's economy, post-COVID. Recently, State Institute of Innovation and Technology, Transformation, SITA, is an organization of Government of Assam, is a planning department body. They have done a survey about the economy of Assam post-COVID. As per the survey, after the COVID, this survey was done before this latest lockdown in Guwahati. As per the survey, 50% of Assam's people will go towards BPL level post-corona. This is something absolutely phenomenal. The second part is that around 70 lakhs people has already lost their livelihood. The corona and the lockdown. See, first two lockdowns were successful. We all participated in the lockdown because we all needed the chain to be broken. When corona was new to the entire country, we didn't know what to do. We have problems with infrastructure in ICU and other facilities. The last lockdown, perhaps given the maximum damage to the entire economy. What is happening to Assam's economy? As where do we stand right now? What is the main strength of Assam? The main strength of Assam is tourism. Why Assam is tourism so strong? Because if you talk about core competency, I'm a man on the ground. I'm working on the projects. I have financed projects. I have seen successes and I have seen a lot of failures. So let me tell you, Assam doesn't have enough resources. Earlier, my perception is that Assam has enough oil. Right now, I can tell you Assam doesn't have oil. ONGC Limited used to produce 4 million metric ton of oil in Sitsagar and adjoining areas, 1998. Now they produce 0.9 million metric ton. Similarly, the entire NRL refinery at 3 million ton. It's a very small refinery. Now they're converting it into 9 million ton refinery. And entire that crude oil is being brought from Barauni. So Assam is no longer oil rich. If you talk about coal, my perception was Assam coal rich. While in ILFS, I did a lot of power plant, as I have mentioned. I was trying to do a project in Borgulai, in Margarita. It's 600 megawatt, I think 1200 megawatt, coal-based thermal power plant. I studied the entire coal of Assam is committed. Whatever coal we have is committed to different coal fields across the country. So Assam doesn't have coal for doing its own power plant. So if you talk about the strength, we do not have iron ore, we don't have any kind of other ore to convert into steel or cement or whatever. So basically, Assam is not a manufacturing zone. Tourism, Assam has a strength. The main strength is because in terms of wildlife sanctuary, Assam has the largest concentration of wildlife sanctuary. Starting from Namere near you, going for Kaziranga, Manas, and Dibru Saikwa, Laukwa, Namdapa, there's so many sanctuaries. And if you talk about rainforest, the last remnants of rainforest are in Dihing Patkai and Jaipur rainforest. Together, all these forests and the rich reserves makes Assam the most attractive destination in the entire world in terms of wildlife destination. If you add our river, one of the biggest river in the world, look at the culture, the variety of culture, missing culture, spectacular missing culture. Look at Dimasas, Karbi together, the Taya homes, and our old Hotria culture, and entire culture that Assam is an hotbed of tourism products. And if you connect Assam to Meghalaya, because Meghalaya is just 2 hours from Guwahati, if you connect Assam to Nagaland, Arunachal as a package, this is the most attractive destination in India, in the entire country, because your competitive destination is Jammu and Kashmir has a serious law and order problem. Whereas Himachal is totally exploited in terms of resources. So Assam, with a strong air connectivity, with now flights, direct connectivity from Ahmedabad, Pune, Amritsar has a direct flight to Guwahati. We have a flight to virtual every city, and so many flights from Bangalore, so many flights from Hyderabad, Chennai. Connectivity, Assam, in terms of law and order, Assam is in an extremely right position. So tourism, for me, is a feature of Assam. Because in terms of core competency, if you add handloom handicraft, which is a part of tourism, because handloom handicraft brings you exclusively products, which is, if you look at Sikkim, the handloom handicraft is tourism. The organic food is tourism. If you go to Thailand, your pineapple is their tourism, because whenever tourists go, the first thing they do, take the pineapple slice. They convert the pineapple, they make pineapple biscuits, the mangoes, they are the tourism. So organic products, handloom handicraft products, and the destination becomes a tourism. And all these three packages are there in Assam. And last few years, after Awesome Assam campaign, which has attracted some of the attention across the country, and after our Northeast Festival initiatives, tourist flow to Assam has increased substantially. But after CA movement and recently after COVID, tourism is in total disaster right now. And if it continues this way, a lot of tour operators has to withdraw. But I expect it will come back. It will come back post-April when we expect Corona will be stabilized. So now why I'm talking about tourism? Because this COVID has really killed the tourism sector. There's so many tour operators who initially started a travel agent. They started one vehicle, uses a tour operator, or in business. They took a second vehicle. Now they have got loans and nowhere to go, nowhere to pay. So tourism industry has really stuck, the hotels, and everybody is stuck in the entire COVID crisis. So most of the Assamese people are engaged in the service sector. Tourism is a sector. If you look at the corporate sector, generally Assam is a very poor corporate culture. But at the same time, most of the corporate sectors are in a very bad position. When the marketing situation is not there, we are in a very bad shape. Then you talk about our cultural people. If you talk about theatre is a big industry in Assam, especially in lower Assam, the Jatra parties, theatre is a big industry. Thousands and thousands of people are involved in theatre industry. All are stuck. Culturally, Assam is very rich. There are so many Hotria artists, Nagaranam artists, Thionam artists. They all are in trouble. Guitarists. So, maybe because creatively we're so good, we have a large chunk of people involved in this creative industry and all are stuck. Talk about our advocates, and except government employees, all are in trouble. That has pulled down our economy to such a level. As per this survey done by CITA, we are already state domestic product negative, big time negative, and it's going to go up further and further. So if you ask me the first question, as on today, Assam economy is an ICU, intensive care. So with this situation, what is going to happen? Would this happen? The unemployment level at least around 25 lakhs. Listed unemployed people are already there. Unlisted might be much more. So unemployment level will go up huge, around 40-50 lakhs. It will touch the unemployment, the 40-50 lakhs of people. So economically, if you look at state domestic product negative, DPL more than 50%, unemployment to the level of 30 to 40 to 50 lakhs of people. So where do you stand? Assam economy is in total disarray right now. So how to go about it? This is the point I'm trying to talk about in different platforms last few days. One thing is that the Assam government is not in good shape. When the hotels are not running, your excise revenues are not coming, your service tax are not coming, the state revenue also in a bad shape. I believe this is a time for some very innovative structure to revive Assam's economy. If the Assam economy continues like this, it will create mayhem in the entire Assamese society. I see a lot of unemployed issues and resulting law and order issues will be coming due to this economic pandemic that we are going through. So first thing, as of now, we are in ICU. To get out of the ICU, there must be a cumulative approach. And there is two roles. I'll talk about what government can do. I believe government should do to revive the economy. At this time of crisis, if you see in Singapore, the airline industry is revived by Singaporean government. In the US and other countries, they're aware of, in Thailand also, the tourism industry is revived by the Thai government. Here in Assam, I believe that small business people, somebody with a good small shop or small business people, artists, small entrepreneurs, all these people coming together, government of Assam should find a way out and contribute a certain amount of money, say 5,000 rupees per month, 4 months or 5 months. It will create a large economy to the entire state. If you contribute this money will be spent back into the economy, and that will help the entire state domestic product. This is the only way, as of now, I see a revival. Revival to the state domestic product. Secondly, government of Assam has to encourage industrial activity. If you look at the hotels, they are sending manpower off. We have to do some innovative way. We have government of Assam can waive some of the fixed charges on electricity and the duties. Suppose they have paid for a bar license, they should be continued for next 1 year. There are many ways we can make some tweak in the policy and make the entrepreneurs, business people to run with the present financial structure for another 1 year. We give a moratorium of this 1 year for payment. That will give them to sustain, because if the companies dies down, they do not pay tax. If the pay doesn't come, tax doesn't come, Assam economy is in doldrums. So basic Assam government has to do something. They have done an economic task force headed by Mr. Subhas Das, where the Joydeep Borua is an economist, is a member. Kamal Mollo Buzar Borua, Vice Chancellor of Agriculture, ex-Vice Chancellor, was a member. They gave a report, and this report, they suggested similar kind of some suggestion, which I have been talking on TV. They have suggested in a similar lines, and few more they suggested about giving some incentive for the artists and other communities, and reviving our tea industry is in big trouble also. Tea is the biggest industry of Assam. Tea industry is suffering because of the issue of COVID, and this is the peak season they are suffering. Assam tea is in doldrums. Assam entire industrial structure in doldrums. Our handloom handicraft industry, bale metal industry, everybody is in trouble. Tourism is in trouble. So agriculture, we are not being able to sell. Our farmers, if you see nearby Bihpuria and those areas, are producing a lot after the PM Kisan scheme. They are in trouble. So as a result, entire economy is pulled down. But the agriculture sector is seeing some revival because a lot of support from government of India on agriculture. Farmers are getting support. The middle class are not getting support, and small business is not getting support. That is where Assam government has to somehow make some revenue. They have to cut down on some of the existing, investment sources and bring it down to bringing to the masses. The masses has to be captured, and the economic picture has to be captured. The Economic Task Force Committee, which was submitted by Subhas Das Committee, was submitted 2 months before. Nothing has been done so far. I don't know why nothing has been done. So what we will do, we'll try to make noise. I started talking in TV and other people also started talking. The Economic Task Force Committee report must be analyzed and some support must be given to the entire system. And I'm sure Government of Assam will do it because we'll keep on pressurizing them, and the entire people needs it. People needs it. And this will create an economy within the state. That is one part. That is what Government of Assam can do. Now talk about what we can do. Now I'm addressing my fellow friends, young students. I'm targeting you, addressing you. I think the future of Assam is an entire Northeast is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship can bring economy. As of now, we are bad because we are poor economically. We are dependent on government. And how many government jobs? 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs? It cannot increase. The financially government will be slowly, the government resources will keep on going down and down. And we are not industrially rich that a lot of royalty we get. We get very small royalty. First thing you realize, their future is on entrepreneurship. The Tamil Nadu is growing, Gujarat is growing, Maharashtra is growing because of their entrepreneurs, not because of the government. Government can create a facilitating atmosphere. And what is our strength? We are intelligent people. I'm seeing a lot of young people are there, mostly intelligent people sitting here. That means people, the entire Northeast are intelligent people. What we lack, the killer instinct to do entrepreneurial activities. What we lack, an ambience. The ambience was killed by successful andolans that we have seen. First, that I do not deny the importance of some of the andolans, specifically the involving our feature of our community. But rest, that attitude of andolan, that atmosphere of the lack of work culture has really sent us back many, many years behind. So I have worked across the country. I have realized that it is work, it's in passion. And I tell you that Assamese boys are doing extremely well in Bangalore. They're doing extremely well in Hyderabad. And look at me. I am from a remotest part of Sibsagar in Kuarpur. I studied initially in Kuampur, Balika, Mausoleum, Vidyalaya. At the time when I came to Cotton College, I was nervous because at the time a boy from a Cotton Collegiate, especially Don Bosco School, a boy or girl, a St. Mary's School, are much smarter. Now I used to feel nervous because at the time the lack of knowledge in terms of knowledge, in terms of linkage, we are much in the backward. But if you look at right now, after this internet revolution, after the geo revolution, a boy from Kuampur or a Dhemaji or from Kokrajhar has the same information what Guwahati boy is getting or a Bangalore boy is getting. He knows about what is the swayam.government.in, what are the courses available in MOSC.in. They know the different, journals available. So about you boys and girls knows about journals available across the world. In YouTube, we get the best of lecturers, professors from Jawaharlal University. We'll get best of professors from IIT Kharagpur, Asuka University, Lady Shri Ram College, Stephens College. We'll get the best of professors talking about history or economics in YouTube. We didn't get it. So this world is changing. And you are a part of this changed world where information is the key and internet is the key. The future business you will see will change. Future business will be based on the internet. And I tell you why you're in an advantageous position. You are in an advantageous position because of connectivity. In our time, there was no connectivity. We have got fantastic connectivity right now. Let me tell you two very positive news. Chittagong Port, 1951, post-independence. Assam was the 5th largest economy of India. Assam means undivided Assam. Now talk about 2020, whatever politicians say, do not believe. We are worse. We are worse in many health parameters. Look at MMR, we are one of the lowest in the country. Maternal mortality rate. With gross state domestic product, we are among 27, 29 among the states. The 60 years of planning has taken us behind. Why? The main reason was connectivity. Pre-independence, Assam has a seamless connectivity. Chittagong Port was available, and through Chittagong Port, Britishers were sending tea timber. At the time, from Dibugarh, a shipload of tea and timber used to take 8 days to reach Calcutta. Now it takes more than 30 days. So this independence and this 60 years of planning and bad management of a river has killed our river transport. But pre-independence, we have got Assam, Burma, Chinese, a gas pipeline. We used to send gas from Assam to Burma and up to China. So it fueled the Chinese vehicles in this World War. So this linkage was up to that level. And the Chabua airport, that was Dibugarh airport, was a fueling main aircraft of the Allied forces, main airport of the Allied forces. So that was Assam, connected through Myanmar, connected through Bhutan. We have got seamless connectivity across the world, and we did extremely well in terms of state domestic product and in terms of trade. Post-independence, Bangladesh was formed and we gone. Connectivity is gone. Bangladesh started creating problem of river transport, protocol issues. Now the good news for you, recently, just few days back, Chittagong Port is allowed for our northeastern people. Now, let me tell you my live experience with Chittagong Port. I was doing this Tripura gas-based power plant. It's 2007. At that time, it's a 726 megawatt power plant, 2 turbines, around 360 each, I think, was brought from Germany, Siemens machine, from Germany to Kolkata. From Kolkata, we are supposed to take the machine to Assam, Karimganj, and up to Pallatana in Udaipur district of Tripura. Twice it failed because the machine is so big, cannot be taken by the small road of Chicken Egg and beyond. So twice the project was delaying. At that time, Bangladesh Prime Minister was Khaleda Zia, and she was anti-India. So we had no other option, but I flew to Bangladesh. In fact, my boss was Dinesh Kumar Mittal. He was one of the most visionary. He's a 77 batch IS topper. He is a man who started this Tripura power plant. He told me, let's go to Bangladesh. So he went to Bangladesh later, and I also joined. Khaleda Zia was presented about a deal that you allow us to use Chittagong Port from Kolkata, and we give you 300 megawatt of power. So a lot of negotiation took place, and we finally allowed as a one-off case. We took the turbines from Kolkata port to Chittagong, very near. Kolkata and Chittagong port in Bangladesh are in a very near port, both the ports, and Chittagong is a very advanced port. From Chittagong, there's a river port called Asuganj, and from Asuganj, we took on 180 kilometers to a Palatana in Udaipur district of Tripura. The project got commissioned only because of Bangladesh allowing us to use their river port, that Chittagong and Asuganj port. So that was one-off, and that has become India's most successful power plant, where I was lucky to be involved. But now, later it was stopped. But now, recently, they are going to allow. That enables Assam and Northeast, especially the southern part of Assam, to connect to the seaport. Once you get a seaport, you connect to Europe, you connect to Singapore, and to Dubai. So you can sail near pineapple. Tripura can sell their queen pineapple. We can, from your side, Bihpuria side, we have a lot of lemons, we have got a lot of ginger, can be sent all across the world. This port is very critical for us. Now we talk about market. If you look at market, most of the projects we finance in Northeast, in Assam, fail. Because Assam is a very small market. We have 3 crore, 3.5 crores population, and as I tell you, 50% BPL. You look at what is my size. I'm a very small market. If you connect to Northeast as a whole, it's just 6 or 7 crores population, very poor. So Assam and Northeast is a very small market. That's why any project we do, why entrepreneurship is not developed. Every time people say entrepreneurs, why we are not becoming entrepreneurs, why we are not becoming big entrepreneurs. And the reason being the small market. And by the time I sell my product from Bihpuria, I set up a project in Bihpuria, I sent to Mumbai. And by the time we reach Mumbai, I'm unviable because the transportation cost is huge. There was subsidy that was dropped right now. There is no subsidy of transportation. It's absolutely unviable to transport my products from here to Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta, where the market is. So this was the reason why entrepreneurship has never developed. And we remain a small economy. Now things are going to change. India's Active policy has been talked for a long, long time. It's now getting operational. 2005, they started this trilateral highway that connects Manipur, Moreh, Guwahati, Kohima, Imphal, around 60 kilometers, Moreh. From Moreh, there's a road, trilateral highway. This is the old the Silk Road. The trilateral highway starts from Moreh in Manipur. It goes to Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and it goes to a point called Meshat in Thailand. Meshat is 200 kilometers away from Bangkok. And in Thailand, 200 kilometers takes 2 hours. So it's just 2 hours to Bangkok. So you connect this road to Bangkok, and this Silk Road goes up to Singapore. This road was constructed since 2005. But over the years, it was very slowly constructed. For obvious reason, there was problem of Myanmar, problem of, there are a lot of other problems. So, but now China developing this OBOR, one belt, one road concept. China started developing a road all over the world, and they are becoming world power. And India has no option to connect to Southeast Asia, which is the most prosperous, one of the most prosperous. Southeast Asia means Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, and Indonesia, one of the world's largest economies. So once India has no other option to look at ASEAN as a business partner. So Indo-ASEAN relationship has started developing, and this road is going to be critical for the entire thing. So now looking at this road, how Assam is going to benefit it. Now if you look at Myanmar, Myanmar is a big market. Myanmar, Assam can feed Myanmar. For Hindustan Lever, who makes lakhs. So they make lakhs in Mumbai and sell to Assam. Now if they can plan on making lakhs factory or whatever factory, they are the shampoos, they produce in Numuligor and sell to Myanmar, it can be easily done. What we need to provide good industrial infrastructure and some power linkage. I am sure industrial companies are going to look at Southeast Asia as a market. That is one part. Making Assam some sort of an industrial part. Secondly, agriculture. What is the strength of Assam? I talked about tourism. And what is the main strength of Assam? The organic nature of Assam, the beautiful fertile land of Assam. So agriculture in terms of production, Assam can be a production hub for the entire Southeast Asia. Because if you look at Thailand, they produce enough of ginger, but they are shortage of ginger. I talked to them that why you are producing so much of good quality ginger? No, earlier we used to make ginger and sell outside. Now we use the ginger and make chips, biscuit, or all kind of products from pineapple, from ginger, from jackfruit, and they will process it. They will take from India ginger, process the ginger, and sell back to India the ginger paste. So that is the business. So basically, Southeast Asia is going to be a big production hub for agriculture, and Assam is very similar to Thailand. Assam has got some of the finest quality of pineapple. So what I did during COVID time, because I realized I had to expand because my event organization, Train MMS, is getting idle because of stopping all this work. So I started a supply chain company that's called Enlightenment, under which I'm trying to procure. I'm talking to the farmers of Assam and trying to sell the product to Dubai, Singapore, and other places. That I have already started. And because I'm also diversifying, because the changed business atmosphere post-COVID, agriculture product of Assam will be in big demand. My idea is to convert, to create a market for our fresh product. And secondly, in the later on, pineapple, my problem is that my pineapple is a Q variety pineapple. The pineapple around 10 days of shelf life. So by the time I reach Delhi, it's become, by the time I go to Dubai, it's finished. So problem is the perishability of my pineapple is a problem. So if you convert into pineapple pulp or pineapple powder, Assam pineapple can feed entire world. Assam banana can feed entire world because our banana is a very high quality. The problem is that our banana has crack because we have never done scientifically. We grow organically. So it's high time Assam banana gives some water in time. You see Assam banana chips in the big market. Our jackfruit, I urge you, look at jackfruit as a market. But problem of us is small ownership. Our ownership is small. So we have to create one village, one product. So lemon, Assam lemon is the killer product right now. Entire world is talking about hygiene. Entire world is talking about vitamin C. What has got maximum vitamin C? Our lemon, Assam, Homia Nemoti. Assam lemon is a killer product. Start producing Assam lemon. And I promise you, I personally will sell them. I personally go to look at selling Assam lemon. And basically what I'm trying to impress upon government of Assam to create a large awareness in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and other major metros and big cities. They take Assam lemon, use it. If you remember, our parents used to take Assam lemon, they used to squeeze in the water and use it regularly. And they are living 80, 90 years with a very good condition. Because the lemon has a very strong healing capacity and immunity is increased. So that has to be marketed. What is missing in us? We have never tried to market our products. We have never tried to say how beautiful our pineapple is. Pineapple, ginger, turmeric, our ginger, Sunapur, the quality of ginger we have, the big size, turmeric. These can make our Assam's organic feature, organic nature of food. Our organic nature. If you look at Assam French bean, I was talking to Dubai, they talk about they need a lot of French bean. They need this gajar, carrots, capsicum. And in your area, Tezpur, that Bihpuria, that whole area is producing a lot of, watermelon. Watermelon is in big demand. Watermelon juices, convert into juices. So what I'm trying to say is that what we have needs to be produced economically viable and sell it outside. Post-COVID, I see a huge focus on agri-horti products. We want to make Assam as an organic agriculture hub. Produce for ourselves, because Assam is now surplus of a lot of agriculture products. We can sell it outside. Huge market. And Southeast Asia roads coming up, sell our pork. Your pork processing. When I was trying to sell product to Thailand, they said, we don't need your product. I need your pork. So I was not sure about what is this. They said, I want to sell your pineapple. I don't need your pineapple because Thailand has a better pineapple than us. They said ginger is better. But they know that Assam has very high quality pork. The pork processing is a big business. Pork processing, pork consumption has gone up in Assam in a big way. But as a market, Southeast Asia is a big market for our product. If you talk about pisciculture is a large market. Assam is a shortage of pisciculture. And you talk about egg, around 3 lakhs eggs per day is a shortage in Assam. So these are the products I see a lot of focus from young entrepreneurs like you people. You must get into this thing. Organic products, agri-horticulture, animal husbandry, tourism, and handloom handicraft. Now coming for handloom handicraft. A lot of our women, I'm seeing a lot of young girls are here. Women entrepreneurs are a big feature. I see our women can make a lot of impact. The reason being, see, Assamese girls are smarter, that is one. The second part I'm trying to say here, internet is making business situation more easy for our women entrepreneurs. And there's a lot of incentive for women entrepreneurs. For talking about incentive, there is Northeast Industrial Policy, under which 30% of the plant and machinery subsidy is given. It's called Capital Investment Subsidy. There's subsidy on interest on working capital on 3%. There's subsidy on GST, 50% GST reimbursement. Subsidy on income tax, around 58% income tax exemption, central portion of income tax. And there's Assam State Policy, which has gone mostly about power supply, and Assam State GST reimbursement. So there's a lot of incentive and more incentive for women. I think for women entrepreneurs, I think they get funding up to 75%. So I strongly believe our women must get into entrepreneurship like tourism and handloom handicraft. Now talking about handloom handicraft. Northeast Festival taught me about the value of a fabric. Recently I used the some of the masks made by some of the young designers whom I promoted in Northeast Festival. In Northeast Festival we organized some fashion shows. Revati Chetri, all these Triveni Burman, Sanjukta Datta, all these product of Northeast Festival or Romani. So now one designer, I told him make some stylish mask. The boy called Vidyut Vikas Bhagavati. He made some mask. He showed me. I told him the mask should look stylish and it should be strong, 2-3 layers. So he made some masks and I have a Facebook. I have many Facebook accounts. Syamkanu Mahanta main account or new account or page account. Main account I have got all the textile buyers and media people in Delhi and other places. So I have sold. I have highlighted. This is Assamese fabric. Eri to logot Mugata they combined and some design, some stylish design. Then he got around 6,000 orders in 2 days from Delhi and from Bangalore. So right now, if you talk about mask is a style statement because you have to wear masks for next many years. So now, if a guy is a high-end IT employee, software coder, or a business professional, business management guy, working in a corporate or multinationals, he would like to look different because this is exclusivity is the name of the game amongst the highest earning people. So basic point is that they want a mask which is different. If Assam's fabric can be used to make good quality masks, it will flood the market. The cost of production is 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 40 rupees. The selling price is 600 to 700 rupees per mask. People are going to pay provided you have value addition in terms of ethnicity, in terms of fabric. So that is marketing of textile. Textile is all about value addition. I am talking to a shop called Ogan. Ogan is a shop, and they sell a product at 5 lakhs, a fabric at 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. So our products are sold at 20,000. So that is where a value addition is required. So my textile entrepreneurs, every product, especially from Lakhimpur, that side, Dhemaji, our fabric needs some value addition. For that, we need some design improvement and sell it in the create a hype around market. Hype in market, how to create a hype? Suppose when I do Northeast Festival, I stay in Guwahati, but I create a hype in Delhi. And everywhere you see Northeast Festival, Northeast Festival. These are the days of internet, you can create a hype, provided you make some good product, good marketing strategy, a good website, a good Facebook page. So if you see Northeast Festival Facebook page, then you realize what do we do. We create some creatives. We spend some resources on making good creatives. For a handloom handicraft entrepreneurs, make some good product, make some good value addition, and then market it. Market it in Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, wherever. And you will see people coming. And online payment, you will have an online platform. To an account, you can pay through Google Pay or what they call Paytm or whatever. So they will pay it through Paytm and you supply. Handloom handicraft, I see a big feature. Northeast Assam's economy post-COVID, the biggest impact I see, the contribution I see from the agriculture sector, tourism sector, handloom handicraft sector. And industrially, I believe Southeast Asian linkage has to be established. And what we have to do, see, that is where we lack leadership and our leadership has to work more. We need to create industrial land bank, large industrial land bank, give power, especially a power linkage. You see, give power, give land, and you see industry coming in. I see industry coming in specifically catering to Southeast Asia. From Assam, I want to make it as a production hub of agri-horti products. Agri-horti, animal husbandry, Assam becomes production hub, and tourism drives Assam economy. And I see a great future. For that, few things. First thing, we must be positive. Just negative mentality has to go. Post-Andolan, we become negative. Cynicism, eto beya khobor, khub bhal pai. Some newspapers started making beya khobor as a very happening thing, breaking things. It has really killed our mindset. We have to have a positive mindset. This should be about, the focus should be those who are creating employment. Focus who is trying to do some good work. We should encourage. A lot of Assamese people are doing very good work. It doesn't get highlighted. We must highlight, we must get encouragement in Assamese boys and girls. Our future is these Assamese boys and girls. Our future is not those who has made their career out of Andolan. By throwing people to the roads and making Andolan for these small issues, because they want to become relevant. Some of the media makes it grown up, and we create the entire atmosphere, kill the atmosphere. Bondo, Upper Assam Bondo, Madhya Assam Bondo, North Assam Bondo, Kiman Okhubida hoise, moi face ko, kar moi nije face keneke korise aponok janaisu. I went to Mumbai, I tried to attract investment. I went to Bangkok, I went to Singapore, tried to attract investment. They say the first thing, oh, wahan mein to band rehta hai. There's all the time band rehta hai. So perception has become like this. We have been considered the land of band. So that is where we are really stuck. We have to change it. And we Assamese people have to change it. Because they will not come. Let us start. Let us make a beginning. Let us make a food processing plant. Let us make a pineapple concentrate plant. Let us make a tourism and hotels. I'm talking about small resort. Bihpuria side. Develop some wayside amenity. As I drive from Guwahati to Bihpuria to Lakhimpur, how many places where you can keep your children or your daughters or your wife or your mother or sister? We need convenience stores. If you go from Delhi to Chandigarh, on the road, you will see so many dhabas. And dhabas are what? Dhabas are where you will see a truck ronga truck khonde, and you will see a goru gari, and you will see a beautiful toilet and good quality food. Food is all Punjabi food, but people come, stay there, enjoy the food, enjoy the tarka, enjoy the naan, and spend a lot of time. So this wayside amenities is missing. If you look from Guwahati to Bihpuria, how many places? We do not have. So basic infrastructure is missing. Our focus has been always on some other activity. Some tourism made some houses in a God-forsaken place, but never focus on this one. So these are the things we have to focus. As an entrepreneur, we have to do it. Wayside amenities, small boutiques, 10-room cottage, make it single room each. Post-COVID, people not like to stay in a crowded place. They will want some place where they can relax. Give them Assamese food, give them Assamese culture, and see tourism. That is tourism. Tourism is not about foreign culture. You don't need to put them Chinese food. Ohomia, bhat, alu pitika khok, masor tenga khok, kothalor musi khok. So this is tourism. Tourism is all about ourselves. Our Satriya Nitya, our missing hospitality. So I believe tourism has a big future. Agriculture has a big future. And agriculture, I strongly focus one village, one product. We must produce bulk. And personally, I'm going to market the product. So there are other marketing boys are working on. So I believe agriculture, tourism, handloom, handicraft, animal husbandry, all will change Assam's economy towards a very positive side. And the change will be made by these young people of Assam, and whom I'm seeing it here. And especially I'm very impressed by seeing this, our Bihpuria College and Librarians Association taking the series of discussions. I heard recently my friend Moyur was also there here. Many discussions you are organizing. That change, you are carrying forward, that you are taking advantage of internet and making change in the life of people. It's a wonderful way. I'm really impressed by this effort. And I believe things will change. And personally, you can see I am not very available in mobile. My problem is that I keep on running around, meeting. So I'm available not on mobile that actively. I'm available on email. It's skmahanta@gmail.com. SK means Syamkanu Mahanta. skmahanta@gmail.com is my email. I have a Twitter account, which is, I'm not very active in Twitter, but Syamkanu Mahanta Twitter. My page on Facebook, I'm very active. Syamkanu Mahanta New. And there's a Syamkanu Mahanta page. If you do something on entrepreneur side, and if you face problem, I want to offer my support. Whichever way, if government is creating problem, I'm going to fight for you. And if you want some marketing linkage and sort of some advice I can. See, you have to do everything. You have to drive the project. And the internet is here. Understand, study, make a good project, make a good commercial model. And the government is going to support in terms of logistics. Banks are there. Net fee is there. And the viable project has many takers. Just you have to be confident, make a viable project, create some entrepreneurial option based on our strength. Entrepreneurs are not in air. He cannot do something which is not there. Big steel plant in Bihpuria is not viable because we do not have iron ore. We must make a project which is workable. So basically, understand your strength, make a project, and look for a long term. And passion is going to drive you. You must have a passion to drive it through. And I'm sure you all have that passion and drive to do something good for the society, good for the people. In coming days, you'll see a lot of action from your side. Anything I can do, I'll be helpful, and I'll be happy to help. And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk.
Thank you, Syamkanu Mahanta sir. Really, sir, it was a very wonderful presentation and on entrepreneurship development, which is the actually need of the hour, and every individual should look into this matter very seriously. I'm really much thankful to you, sir, to hear you in this platform at Bihpuria College, and I think definitely our participants will have enjoyed this session, and also in the Facebook Live, lots of viewers are there. So thank you again, sir, Syamkanu Mahanta sir. And sir, there are some questions to you, sir. Shall I continue the questions, sir?
One or two questions I can take because then I have to leave. Two questions I'll take.
Okay, sir. I'll just take, sir, one or two questions, sir. So first question is that when we talk about entrepreneurship, we primarily target the unemployed ones for a startup. Sir, don't you think that it's high time that the service holders should also be encouraged for the entrepreneurship development simultaneously in order to boost the economy as a whole?
Of course. I was a service holder. I worked in a public financial institution, net fee. There I learned my basic tenets of entrepreneurship. I worked in ILFS, which is slightly semi-private organization. And while I was working on those things, I started my venture and I left it. You cannot do it together. Being in service, you can learn and do the background work. Once you start full time, you have to go full blast. No half measures. When I come when I finalize my background work, when I was working in my organizations across the country and across the world, I learned my basic tenets. That is my strength. I develop what I can do. And I have confidence that, I can do it of my own. So I left my job. But when I was ready, I jumped. But you cannot have, I couldn't have done if I was working in ILFS, I couldn't have done this. Because I have been driven by the organization protocols. Now I'm free bird, so I can do Sankardev Movement, I can do Northeast Festival, I can talk on TV and do everything. But if I'm working in somewhere, all the time you'll be under pressure. So basically, in service, you can plan, but being an entrepreneur, you have to go full blast. You cannot hold a service and work. While in service, you can plan. Okay, I'm going to do this, I do this. But once you go ahead, full blast, no half measures, nothing called 30-20%. It's all 100% beyond. Go full blast. I think I've answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, another question. That is very interesting question. Sir, can we change flood from disaster into opportunity like flood tourism?
No. Flood is a subject very close to my heart. If you see, I will urge you to see my program on Sunday. I am taking Adil Hussain. My Adilda will be there. He's been trying to highlight Assam's flood across national BBC and other channels. And I'm calling our flood minister, Mr Syamkanu Mahanta. And I'll ask him many questions. The first thing, let me tell you, flood is a serious problem of ours. Flood cannot be tourism. Flood has to be solved. My take on flood is very serious. I'm working on the subject. I did this Matmara geodike that is near your place, is in Hakuakhana. While working there, I have realized I did a lot of study on flood. So flood problem in Assam has been a perennial problem, and we missed the bus. We never try to control the situation. Now it has become the water level, the river depth has gone up. So in your place, nearby areas, the whole areas, river depth has gone up. And especially in those areas, Bihpuria and nearby areas, the river depth, all the river, if you see, depth has gone up. This is a major reason of flood. So we have to address this issue for our future generation. We have to do something. I am talking about a comprehensive project of flood management. The flood management project includes increasing the depth of the river. That is number one. Number two, we are talking about some dams. These are dams not for producing power. Dam to hold water. Dam to hold water, this has been done by China. Dam to hold water and release it when it's excess. And so that in a regulated release, not for power generation, inside the river. We talk about increasing the river transport mechanism. We talk about the erosion management, strong erosion management structure. We talk about living about flood. If you see the Cyclone Fani, nobody died in Cyclone Fani. But a lot of people died in West Bengal because West Bengal was never prepared. Orissa was always prepared. For the flood, we must create highlands, and we must learn to live with flood also. That is also part of this total project, where when flood comes in, we take the people out and keep in an elevated zone. We create an elevated zone so that nobody dies and nobody has problems. More people are dying in flood than corona. But we only talk about corona, whole money is on corona, whole energy is on corona, but nothing has been done in corona. At the same time, Ganga rejuvenation plan is done at 100 crores. I have just been to Ganga, that entire zone. I was in Varanasi, and I've seen the amount of work they have done in Varanasi. I will talk about a comprehensive river development plan of 100 crores. That can do what? How now answer your question? While reclaiming the river, you create some zone and create some riverfront, that becomes a project. While reclaiming the river, create beautiful riverfront from entire parts into Vishwanath Charity, Guwahati. That riverfronts are tourism. So that flood is not the tourism, the river is tourism. Reclaiming the river, making it a river transport. As I told you, 8 days of time from Dibugarh to Kolkata. Now it takes 30 days. River transport is a big tourism. Our Ashish Fukan and many other entrepreneurs are running cruises. Sarai Day cruises, MV Mahabahu. They are booked $250 per night. They're booked. So river tourism is big now, but only for a few months, because in winters our depth goes below 3 meters. Throughout, if you have to move, you have to have a depth of 3 meters and above. We have to increase that depth so that our our ship can move, a cruise can move in river. And we do the entire bed management and create riverfront, and that is tourism. It's a massive project, and I'm going to put whole energy on this. And I would urge everyone to see my next program on Sunday. You'll see Assam Water Resource Minister. I'll talk about this project, and Adil Hussain.
Thank you, sir. Sir, last question I'd like to take from your end.
Yeah.
This question is that, sir, in agriculture sector, farmers of our state have not sufficient knowledge of modern cultivation. So I think government have to provide modern farming techniques to improve our agriculture sector. Now we cultivate only once and then the remaining time the field remains empty. Sir, what is your view regarding this, sir?
It's about a culture, the problem of culture. Problem of culture. The culture is Andolankari. We talk about Andolan. Amar ji hol Pomwa Musalman tinibar kheti kore. Migrant Muslims, coming from the migrant Muslims, are doing extremely well. They do many a time. Amar Asomia Kharkwa hokol ebar kheti kore. Kyo kore? It is not, government cannot do it alone. Government has to create an awareness. We all has to do. We must produce it more. We have such a fertile land. We can do it 2 or 3 times. That's why we all have to do it. We have to encourage it. We have to encourage the villagers that produce it twice, at least. Pothomote Baudhan, Baki Rahudan, Pisole. I'm a Morigaon Korea. I'm in Morigaon. I'm working with some of the farmers. And in winter, they produce this tiong, cucumber. They do a lot of beans and a lot of gazor. And then a keti, they start the keti, dhan keti. So people are doing it. People are doing it, but majority has to do it. This is a perception. We must make Assam as a production hub. For government has to create large-scale awareness for making multiple cropping is a way solution. Multiple cropping is a solution. And the culture to do kheti. And kheti, bhal poisa ase, kothakini raise, apunok shikkokokol ase. Moi to request kobo bisarisu. The khetit apuni 4 বিঘা 5 বিঘা মাটিত যদি বছৰ খেতি কৰে ভাল পইচা ওলাব মানে মান্থলি 75000 1 লাখ টকা লৈকে ইনকাম হ'ব এজন মানুহ মই এটো ৰিকুৱেষ্ট কৰিব কৈছো যে lesson I want to request the professors teachers to communicate to the young students about encouraging this behavior. That's why the role of professors is so critical. They need to train and encourage these students to cultivate and tell others, because the students coming from an area, he can teach the other people in nearby areas. So, eta koribo laibo, I mean, multiple cropping koribo laibo, and logote, we must talk about one village, one crop. Suppose eke jagate jodi ami kothal banao paro, kothal to hangarik demand ase. Eke lage jodi nemu banao paro, ekhon gaon jile kone nemu banao. Moi aponak koisu nemu kiniba manor line pare. So, we have to scientific cultivation no, smart cultivation. Scientific sok etia ohomor mati imane fertile. Seed ase. Moi janu je seed dia hoise. Ebar man production kio beshi hoise. মই অতুল বৰাৰ লগত খুব ক্লোজলি কাম কৰি আছো অসমৰ কৃষি মন্ত্ৰী মই তেখেতক চেষ্টা কৰিছো খুব লাগি আছো এই অলপ দিনৰ লকডাউনৰ পিছত লাগি ধৰিছো মই আপুনি কৰক সো আপুনি দেখিছে অতুল বৰা খুব ঘূৰি আছে সো বেসিক্যালি এতিয়া মই তেওঁ পিছত মানে মই দেখিছো এতিয়া আমি তেওঁলোকক সহযোগ কৰিব লাগিব টু গেট দিস থিং এতিয়া মই বহুত শিকিলো যে মানুহবোৰে সিড আছে গুড কোৱালিটি সিড আছে মডাৰ্ন টেকনলজি আছে আজিকালি আগৰ দিনা ধান পাই নাথাকে আজিকালি মানে এইবোৰ ট্ৰিলাৰে যে কৰে পাৱাৰ ট্ৰিলাৰে কৰে সো modern technology has come. What is not come? Unsmart. Unsmart ki eke jagar apuni ei jagar ki bata banale. So, mane small production. Economy of scale is not there. Sab kam kora agote economy scale lage. Economy mane economy of scale. Apni production kore na hobo. Production to cost to market competitive hobo. That is called economy of scale. So, economy scale koibo hole gaon mankhini bujabo laibo. Je ekhini eke jagar iman khini kete. Moi ako koisu apunake apuni jodi hei muhurtot apuna oncholot ase Bihpuria oncholot. Hei oncholot sanghatik watermelon, tormuzor production. And tormuzor Hungaric demand. Hungaric demand. And Goram Kali Apuni Mane tormuzor Hungaric demand. Tormuzor kheti kore. It is a good feature. So focus on kheti. Focus on large scale of kheti. And protect mane last koi like I'm proud that I'm a farmer. Etu loi mane gorbo koibo lai. Aru etu bostu mane kheti kora to kheti ni lukot dom di thot ke andolon koi fuat ke these are the people the farmers should be the real icon of society. Moi bhabo je samajor অগ্ৰণী ব্যক্তি হ'ব লাগে farmer ji kheti kori pele manuk khwaise a culture to anibole more kind of culture is important. Technology is not a problem anymore. I think I've answered your query.
Yes sir, very well.
Kole bote koi thai bola ukanso aibu bostu mor buku major ase moi pai 6 ঘন্টা koi thai pai কিন্তু কেছটো হৈছে মোৰ বেলেগ কাম আছে I have to leave right now, but I'm there for you. আপোনালোকৰ লগত আছো মই বিচাৰো যে অসমীয়া ৰাইজে কাম কৰক নতুন কাম কৰক মই যদি যতে যি পাৰো আমি কৰিম হেল্প কৰিম and together we will make it. Thank you.
Thank you, Syamkanu Mahanta. Really, sir, it's a very wonderful session. Actually, I have enjoyed very much, sir. Thank you for giving your valuable time to us, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And sir, there is some questions to Chimun Nath sir also, sir. Sir, I'll just ask 1 or 2 questions again.
Yeah.
Sir, only farming and engaging in cottage industry is not the ultimate solution. The whole middleman reaps the benefits. If you see the market of bell metal industry, then what will be your answer, sir?
Was it a question for me or for Syamkanu?
Yeah, that's question given by the participants.
Yeah, is it for me or the?
It is for you, sir. It is for you, sir.
Okay. I think he could have given a very good answer to this. Anyway, now the question is like about the bill metal industry, and we are talking about the marketing part. I mean, if I just have to look it from the marketing aspect, in that case, yes, that requires a tremendous, sea change in the marketing process of bill metal industry. Now, you are trying to relate the question, the person who has put up the question, he was trying to relate, he or she was actually trying to relate it with the agriculture and others, other cottage industry. Now, you see, cottage industry has a totally different, altogether different type of a dimension. And when we talk about a bell metal industry, it has actually, it was there as a cottage industry. Now it is the time basically to come out and then to have a full-fledged production level. Now, the thing is that what we have observed that in if I talk about in Assam, in that case, it has not penetrated properly. And the main reason why it is not being penetrated properly is because that, first of all, the finishing part. Because you see that when you are having, as a customer, I'm just looking it from a marketing perspective. If I'm a customer or a consumer and I'm looking into a particular point that, yes, I have to buy a product which should be of a good quality. In that case, let me tell you, very minor percentage of the customers actually have any idea about the product, about the technology or the particular the composition of that thing. They don't have that much of idea. Only the point is that for them, a quality product is a product which looks good, which is durable, seems durable, and the appearance wise it is nice. Now, what has happened, you see, is that when we're talking about a bell metal industry, if you look into, you will find that when certain products which are being manufactured elsewhere in the country, and they were having a so beautiful presentation and a very nice polish and everything. Obviously, when people will compare it with the produce of Assam, in that case, they will definitely first say that maybe the quality is also not good. Now, this is something very very dicey, because in a way we can think of that, yes, we have some sort of emotional attachment, and so that's why we should buy our own product. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when we go to the market and when we actually buy the particular product, we normally look into this particular aspect rather than all those emotional contents. So that's why the situation is as such. I'm sure there are so many ways through which we can change it up. First thing is that the promotion should be proper, because once the promotion started, then automatically what will happen, the demand flows in, and when there will be demand, obviously it will forces the producers to create a quality product. So that's why the promotion is important. It's the key.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Sir, there is another question that, sir, what should be our strategy after this post-COVID-19 situation regarding the marketing, sir? Marketing strategy.
Sticks to the basics. Stick to your basics, and you have to collapse with technology. This is what actually ultimately the main, or you can say the ultimate strategy that every company, every person, everyone in the market has to adapt. Because if you just want to do any kind of changes, any kind of innovations, any kind of innovative practices in between, probably you will not going to get the amount of trust what actually you are in requirement from a customer side. So first of all, after the pandemic, obviously one has to stick to your basics. That is the the ultimate strategy that one has to follow. Right?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
And almost we have taken lots of questions. Now we are coming to the last part of this program, that is vote of thanks. Now I would like to invite Dr. Shibu Das, the Assistant Professor of Bihpuria College, to offer the vote of thanks. Dr. Shibu Das, sir. Yes, sir, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Video.
It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event success. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, I'd like to thank Mr. Syamkanu Mahanta and Chimun Kr Nath sir, who have given us valuable time despite their busy schedule to grace this occasion. Sir, today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be encourage us in our future events. My gratitude to you, sir, for presenting this occasion. Thank you, sir. I thank and express a deep sense of appreciation to our Honorable Principal, sir, and Utpal Deka, sir, who always encourage us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength. Thank you so much. I heartily convey my gratitude to Head of the Commerce Department, Mr. Hazarika, and other faculty members, Govin Kumar Bora, Dr. Niranjan Kakoti, Mr. Anup Saha, Hemanti Gogoi Baido, Mr. Krishna Kumar Soikia, Mr. Rajiv Lochon Lekharu, Mr. Atul Dapto, Jyotika Madam for their cooperation. I'd like to thank Dr. Prashanta Kumar Deka and Virendra for providing Zoom platform and technical support. I also extend my sincere thanks to all academicians who have participated in Zoom or Facebook, without whom the national webinar could not have been successful. Lastly, on behalf of Bihpuria College and ACLA, a big thanks to all. I value you and your every moment that you stay in this e-platform of learning. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Chimun Kr, sir. And really, sir, it's again a proud moment that for the third time we have conducted this program successfully. And because of this effort from Bihpuria College, this could be a reality today. And really today, sir, the session was very interesting and very informative, as well as very important also. And during this COVID-19 situation, definitely it will help us. So first of all, on the behalf of Assam College Librarians Association also, I'd like to thank the resource person, Dr. Chimun Nath, sir, for giving his valuable time, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to also extend the heartiest thanks to the resource person, Syamkanu Mahanta, sir, well-known entrepreneurs and analysts. And also, I'd like to thank the Principal of Bihpuria College, Dr. Amulya Hazarika, sir, and special thanks to Dr. Shibu, the Assistant Professor from Bihpuria College, and Mr. Utpal Das, Associate Professor from the Department of English, Bihpuria College, for giving a very wonderful season. And because of their effort, this could be a reality today. So thank you very much. And we are coming to the last part of this program. And I request all the participants, please switch on your video, and we will take a screenshot together. Please come closer to your screen. I request all the participants, please switch on your video. Please come closer to the screen so that we get a screenshot. Just a moment. So thank you very much. And now we are coming to the last part of this program. That is, we have to end this program. So before ending this program, just I will unmute everybody for 10 seconds, and then directly I will just complete this program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very much. And again, thank you to Dr. Chimun Kr again. And Syamkanu Mahanta sir for giving the valuable time to us. And again, we'll meet another day with some new topics. Thank you very much. Have a nice time ahead. Stay safe. Thank you. And being a host, I declare this webinar and thank you very much again.